What's up, guys? It's your boy Barca Boy 103. Today we're gonna be doing the match analysis from the match yesterday between Monaco and Barcelona, where Barcelona did pick up their first official loss in competitive action of the season, following an overall poor display against the French side, where a calamity of individual errors did cost Barcelona 3 early and important points in the new Champions League format. We're going to be mainly discussing 5 things that we've learned from this game that hopefully will come as constructive criticism and can be implemented and resolved into the next match for the Blaugrana side. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is by far the best replica jersey website on the market, and it's not even close. They have a variety of different items at the absolute best prices. They sent me 2 kits recently. First one is the retro Barcelona kit, the home kit, which I'm currently wearing right now, and also as well the second kit for that season in the blue edition. Oh my god, like, the stitching is fantastic, the quality is, superb. Feels like I have the actual, original kit for a fraction of the price. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get 10% off your order. That's BOY. Use it at checkout, and all orders above $80 as well will receive free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Hit the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the first thing that we learned from this match, and that is the poor in-game management of Hansi Flick did cost us in this game. We saw him tactically adjust the press against Girona in the last weekend game, of course benefiting from that, scoring 2 goals in 4 minutes from that Lamine Yamal brace. But in this match, it was basically non-existent, and if it was existent, we could have had a different result in this game. But his initial game plan was completely fine, especially as you can see from the starting lineup with the 4-2-3-1. Eric García, Casado, Pedri was a surprise midfield 3 with Raphinha staying on the left hand side. You can see the ratings of this team is all over the place. Of course, Eric only played 10 minutes, unlucky red card, not his fault, so we'll leave that away. And then Ter Stegen getting the highest rating just due to stat padding. Essentially, we all know how sus and terrible Ter Stegen was last night. Now, if you look at the average positioning of the game, on the left hand side is the starting lineup. Again, very, very narrow approach yet again. Lamine Yamal providing our only width in this game. Even Balde was tucked inside. Didn't like how Raphinha was very much inside, even though you expect Pedri to be in the 10. Of course, these are going to be mainly adjusted due to the fact that Eric Garcia did get that red card very early on the right hand side, where the substitutions end up coming in. You can see Ferran Torres basically defending the whole time he was coming in as a substitute. Of course, Ansu nicely holding the width on that left hand side, and Jordan Martin, of course, had like 3 touches, and they're all absolutely terrible. Now, if you look at the stats, I don't want to go into it too much since we lost this game. You can just tell by the statistics that we were absolutely dominated in this game. Monaco had an XG of 1.20. We had an XG of 0.36. We had a lot of goalkeeper saves in this game. Again, the ones that were at Ter Stegen, he did save, and some of them that he didn't, that were at him, didn't end up saving. Only had 4 shots in this game. Of course, one of those shots was the Lamine Yamal goal. Very ineffective. Again, you can see from the heat concentration, mainly, of course, using that right hand side. Again, that's where Lamine Yamal is. But no big chances scored, no big chances missed. That actually, of course, means no big chances created either. Definitely not a great showing from Barcelona, especially in the final third. The same thing goes for the transition play as well. You can see the ball was mainly spent in the middle of the pitch, but also in Barcelona defensive third. That should be switched, of course, with Monaco based on how Barcelona should be dominating games. Accurate passes were very, very low from Barcelona because Monaco did dominate possession. Even duels won, despite the fact that Barcelona were defending a lot in this game. We were outdone in a lot of the defensive areas as well. We had a total of 14 tackles, 7 interceptions, and and 45 recoveries as well. Now, I do want to discuss quickly some of the tactical approaches in this game that Hansi Flick did have that I did not like, and I think this comes down to that first point as well, having poor in-game management. Now, you can see here's how we lined up. Of course, you know, the way the game played, it's not the end of the world based on having Eric García here and Casado as a pivot, but once Eric García, you know, gets sent off, the whole perspective of this game changes. Of course, you then had Pedri dropping into here and Raphinha just tucking into here, not even that much to be honest. And the issue was, of course, this side right here. This left hand side was getting absolutely cooked from every single different direction from Monaco, and that of course led to Pedri coming in and filling in this space a lot. We saw, of course, Indigo come in and get those aerial ones. Balde was coming, trying to help the press, but Raphinha was so lackluster in this area as well because he wouldn't be able to beat the first man down this left-hand side, which left all the space open over here, and it left Pedri basically in the majority of the time in no man's land. If he had, of course, made an early substitution, I would say at least when the red card happened, or maybe even at halftime, hour mark, you would have seen Raphinha, of course, hold this position. I probably would have said maybe, let's say pretend this is Pablo Torre. He would have came in here like this, like this, and then that way you have more control. Because if this is Pablo Torre or any kind of midfielder that has, you know, technique, composure, they can come out here. You can have, of course, 4 different players here. That way, the press would be much easier in these areas, and of course, counterattack is where you will, where you will lose that kind of edge a little bit. But in terms of, you know, where the position was of the game and how we're doing in the game, and also the fact that we are trying to, you know, hold on to a draw at this point, I think it would have been much more suffice in that sense. And again, it comes down to that quick reactionary from Barcelona managers. We've seen the Barcelona managers a lot. So reluctant to make changes, nervous, worried, and they just end up not doing it, which is so annoying. And if you look at these subs that Hansi Flick, of course, did end up making in the end, they weren't, you know, that effective or that great. You know, Ferran Torres, Sergio Dominguez, Gerard Martin coming in as a triple change. You can tell clearly that's just purely rotation that has nothing to, you know, affect the game. Pedri for Pablo Torre, that should have been done probably 25 minutes before it was done in the 83rd minute. Then Ansu for Balde, just probably just get some Ansu minutes. I would have liked to see him come on a little bit earlier, but I guess he wanted to be more so conservative. But all these changes here are all purely rotation, just to rest players, nothing to affect the game, and that really, really bothered me in this game with Hansi Flick. I think that's one of the main reasons why we did not end up picking a result in this game. Now, I want to go through quickly Hansi Flick's quotes after the game, because I think it is important, especially after defeat. He came out saying, "I'm actually very proud of this team and I'm very optimistic with them as well. We have to accept the loss, but we have 7 matches to go and I'm sure we'll be able to come back." Catalan had a bit of a knock in this game, but he wasn't injured. Of course, that's great news. We tried at all times, but we have to accept that they deserve to win. Now we have to recover, come back stronger. We have 7 more chances remaining. Lamine tried everything he could today. It was a complicated match for him, and I replaced him thinking about Sunday. So again, he said that he took off Lamine Yamal to, you know, cover him for Sunday very early on. That's probably the same thing with Kounde, same thing with Lewandowski as well. After 10 minutes, the sending all completely changed our game plan. These things happen, we have to accept it, but we are strong enough to bounce back in the Champions League, that's for sure. And I told the team that we have to keep our heads up and we have another game on Sunday. So Flick very optimistic, very happy with the performance based on the circumstances in this game, and again highlighting the fact that he didn't make these triple substitutions essentially with Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, and Kounde coming off, thinking about Sunday. Now he's thinking about Sunday at the 80th minute in the Monaco game, which again, we're still in the game. There's still 10 minutes left. Anything can happen. I understand that, you know, rotation is important, but why not make an effective substitution early on? I'm telling you, Pablo Torre coming in, I would have even accepted, like, you want to bring in Hector Fort, for example, maybe push Kounde in the midfield and then have Kounde tuck in, perhaps, as Kounde on the ball isn't too bad. Something like that, something a bit innovative to, you know, inspire the team as well and help us, you know, be effective in that area. Because again, I talk about the holes in the setup and that left-hand side. It was so vulnerable, and poor Pedri carrying absolutely everything down the left-hand side. So that's again the main core for me in this game, was the in-game management was basically non-existent from Hansi Flick, and hopefully that will change in the coming weeks as he does progress and understands this team more than he does now. The second thing that we learned in this game is that Barcelona no longer have a top goalkeeper. Ter Stegen this season has been nothing short of absolutely abysmal, and it was shown in this game as a collective calamity. I mentioned in the match review yesterday that Barcelona this season have conceded 6 goals in total. 4 of them come down individually, specifically down to goalkeeping mistake. We saw it twice in this game. It could have happened more if Kubarsi and Inigo did not save Ter Stegen's blood clot. But my God, it's Ter Stegen right now versus the world. I have not seen one person defend Ter Stegen. Now, following this calamity result, of course, as the captain of the club, I expected Ter Stegen to come out and speak to the media, defending, of course, the team and admitting his mistakes. I did mention this, of course, during the live stream, the live watch along yesterday. Positive side is that Ter Stegen did come out after the game and spoke to the media, which I think is a little bit of courage. You do like to see that, especially after him himself having the poor performance. But what did Ter Stegen do? Deflect, 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 deflect. He came out saying, "We did not understand each other well in the play. I really feel bad for Eric. Something happened that shouldn't have happened to us, but that's football. We stood up to the challenge with 10 men. You're left with bad feelings, not having taken any points." You absolute freaking fraud. No accountability whatsoever. As the captain, you are the fucking captain of Football Club Barcelona. If Ter Stegen came out and said, "Look, I had a stinker. I'm a twat. I'm sorry. I will do my best to regain my form and help Barcelona compete on all fronts the rest of the season," I'll be like, you know what? Fairs. I respect it. Let's regroup. See what happens. You're still gone in the summer. No accountability. And where does he get this from? He gets it from the old Club de Amigos who always deflect, and live on the past. That is nothing short of embarrassing. I love seeing as well a lot of top journalists in Barcelona coming out and acknowledging this as well. I saw Alfredo Martinez saying that those words of Ter Stegen are probably worse than his performance. I fully agree. Other journalists saying, "Why not taking any accountability? You were at fault," and that's plain and simple. Do not be blaming Eric García for that whatsoever. You have, as a goalkeeper who is distributing, and you have Monaco players sitting in front of you, not even pressing you, you have time, space, and effort to make a conscious decision. You think Eric García is Busquets, where he's going to end up turning and making space like a magician? That's not the reality. You had Balde open on the left-hand side. You could have went long to Lewandowski like you did 9.9 times out of 10 during the game. But you played in a dangerous area where Eric García was being pressed, and you put him in no man's land, and you also put him in a very difficult position to make a key decision as well. Of course, red card again does not help Barcelona. We end up losing. We saw it, of course, with Araujo last season. What can you do? I mean, if we conceded, would we have come back? Maybe. But I think in that moment, in that 10-second time frame, Eric García did what all defenders would do: take the hit, move on, pray to God it's a yellow as well. Ter Stegen is on a fat decline. And Barcelona, I talked about next summer maybe being, we need to find a pivot, maybe get a left winger, maybe even look at a striker with Lewandowski aging. F all of that. We need a goalkeeper. Getting rid of Ter Stegen is one problem. Signing another goalkeeper is also another issue as well. There's no real top goalkeepers on the market that you can really tempt. You're going to have to be splashing upwards of 60 plus million. I think the world record for a goalkeeper is Alisson to Liverpool with 70. I mean, we're 6 games into the season. We're going to talk about signing a new goalkeeper. That's how shit Ter Stegen has been this season. It has been nothing short of abysmal. 1 clean sheet in 6 games. And of those 6 games, let me just think real quick. Vallecano, Girona, this game, at least 3 of his clean sheets that he could have gotten were at his fault. The 1 goal that we conceded in each of the games, of course, 2 last night. This is how much he's costing us. You can say, bring in Iñaki Peña. We saw Iñaki Peña last season. He is as crap as Ter Stegen. What are you going to do? Chuck in Astrolago or Cochin to an under 21 and an 18-year-old goalkeeper? That's not sustainable, and that's not a reality. We're stuck with Ter Stegen this season, and all we can do is pray that something changes. I fear that it doesn't. I feel like Ter Stegen will cost us more goals, and that's going to be a big issue, because right now every single Kounde journalist are against Ter Stegen, and he's going to have to, of course, mentally come through this. I'll tell you what, if he costs us a goal this weekend against Villarreal, the floodgates will open and they will not close. So he needs to shape up, wake up, and try his best to redeem himself this season. Of course, he won the Zamora Trophy, had a great season, the 22-23 season. Last season, he was bang average, 50-50. Some games he had a worldie, some games he was very much like this, where he cost us goals, very much a 50-50 season. And now it's going to be up to him again to try and redeem himself. But at this current rate, it ain't looking good for him, and things need to change. And will this maybe force Hansi Flick into making a very, very critical and important change or different dilemma in the goalkeeping department? Now, the third thing that we learned in this match is the quality that we do have in the center back department, the center back duo that we've had for every single game this season, despite the fact of missing out on Araujo and Andreas Christensen. Koulibaly and Inigo Martinez in this game yet again absolutely stunning, and they just complete each other so well. And without these two players, I guarantee you, not only will Barcelona have conceded more goals, but Ter Stegen will be getting even more pelters than he already is now. Koulibaly in this match, of course, played 80 minutes, had 5 clearances, 1 block shot, 1 total tackle. He completed 50% of his ground duels, only committed 1 foul in the whole game, 89% pass accuracy, only misplacing 5 passes, had 52 touches as well. He was sensational, and also Inigo as well. Now, his rating will be down a bit on SofaScore because he got a yellow card, but the yellow card was for pushing a Monaco player, not based on actual play as well. He played the whole 90 minutes, had 1 block shot, 1 interception, 1 tackle, only dribbled past once, completed about 60% of his duels, committed 1 foul, but was fouled himself once, 46 touches, 88% pass accuracy, only misplacing 4 passes as well. These two together have single-handedly been astonishing this season. You look at the game against Mestalla, both of them were crap. Let's be honest. But against Bilbao, against Vallecano, against Valladolid, against Girona, and in this game as well, 5 games in a row where these two defenders have been stellar. You have the composure and ball ability of Koulibaly. You have the raw defensive ability of Inigo, who can also play on the ball and is fantastic in duels as well. They just complete each other so well. Of course, Inigo's left foot and Koulibaly's right foot, complete each other as well. They have been brilliant, and I really want to highlight this as part of this game. I felt very comfortable with them at the back. Their last-ditch tackles were important. Their aerial duels when Ter Stegen could not punch the ball to save his freaking life were saving us in this game. And I promise you, any other defenders in this game that did not, balance each other well and not only also play 5 games together as well, this would have been a completely different result on the negative side to Barcelona. So credit where it's due to our center back dynamic duo. Now, along with the duo at the center back position, the fourth thing that we've learned in this game is also the duo that we do have in the midfield and how well they played in this game, to the point they salvaged somewhat of Barcelona having a chance of walking away in this game with somewhat of a positive result, either a draw or a win. And I am talking about Pedri and Marc Casado. If you look at Pedri's stats in this game, played 83 minutes, had 54 touches, 89% pass accuracy, only misplacing 4 passes. He completed 3 long balls out of the 3 that he did attempt. He attempted 2 dribbles, completed 1, had 1 block shot, 3 interceptions, 3 tackles, was fouled himself once, only committed 1 foul as well. This is coming in from a career midfielder. This is coming from a midfielder that you expect in the final third, creating chances, playing in the 10, and he has the great defensive stats. Of course, he ended up dropping back to, comply with the red card, but this coming in from Pedri is a fantastic display. Same goes for Marc Casado, of course, had the assist in this game as well. Another 90 minutes for him, 63 touches, 86% pass accuracy, only misplacing 6 passes. He had 1 key pass, he attempted 5 long balls, completed 4. He completed the majority of his duels as well, had 3 total tackles, 4 clearances. He committed 2 fouls, but was fouled himself 4 times as well. It is just, these two single-handedly were the power engines of this team. The way they ran their socks off for 90 minutes for Casado, 80 minutes for Pedri. They didn't look like they broke a sweat in the sense that they kept the acceleration and intensity at the same level. Their ability on the ball. We saw Pedri's nice little turn in the box as well when he was putting under pressure with Monaco. Casado being able to win the ball back and try and salvage somewhat of a counterattack for Barcelona. These two are the sole reason why we were in this game for the majority of it. Of course, if it wasn't for Courtois in goal costing us opportunities in transition, progressing the ball forward. They were absolutely sensational, and this is why Flick, you can have to give credit where it's due and where he's building a team, and also trusting the likes of Casado and Pedri in deeper areas. And also, like I mentioned in the tactical part of this video, they were outnumbered a lot in that midfield. So credit where it's due for this dynamic midfield duo that gave us somewhat of a chance to get a result from this game. And the fifth and final thing that we've learned from this game is that Lamine Yamal is not special. He is beyond special. He was the only threat that Barcelona had in the final third of this game. Both Lewandowski and Raphinha were non-existent, not only due to the red card, but also due to the ineffectiveness in that Monaco back line. It was just Lamine Yamal, and you can see that from his stats. He played 80 minutes, had 1 goal, 35 touches. He had 73% pass accuracy. He hit the 1 long ball, completed it, had one shot off target, lost possession 15 times, 2 fouls given, 2 fouls received. He attempted 3 dribbles, didn't complete 1, and that was the main disineffectiveness of Lamine Yamal. But who picked up Barcelona when we were down? Who gave us that spark? And I'm not comparing Lamine Yamal here with Messi, but Messi over the course of, 12 years for Barcelona was always the spark. Give the ball to Messi and pray. That's always been the saying. The press have been saying for 10 years, Messi independencia, because all we did was depend on Messi. We concede a goal, give the ball to Messi, and pray that something happens. And we're starting to see that with Lamine Yamal. We saw that a little bit with Dembele after, his first 2 years injury spell, because that Dembele is a raw talent. He can do something magical at any given moment. But Lamine Yamal is doing magical things on a consistent basis. That finish is what you want to see from every winger at this club. Not only Lamine Yamal, but Raphinha, Varane, and Ansu. Cut inside, past 1 or 2 defenders, hit it immediately into the goalkeeper's near or far post, put a shot on target, progress the ball forward, and that's what Lamine Yamal did in this game. He had a lot of opportunity. I think, again, with Lamine Yamal, for me, the dribbling needs to improve, especially when he's actually trying to take on defenders. When you're cutting inside and stuff, you're not really taking them on. But taking on defenders, trying to get that final ball as well, which was a bit sloppy from a lot of players today, not just Lamine Yamal, but I remember some on the counter-attack specifically. Just fine-tune that. Again, he is golden. This motherfucker is 17 years old, and he's already being Lamine Yamal independencia at this point for Barcelona. He is the spark. He is the person that people look to create something, to give us some sort of hope. You can see that Barcelona lifted their heads up after that Lamine Yamal goal, and it all came down to him. That is individual brilliance from him to create and scored that goal. Of course, brilliant ball from Casado over the top as well. But I just had to stress that we cannot depend too much on Lamine Yamal, or else the pressure on him will be way too huge. Again, I have no pressure on him. The kid's 17. Whatever he's doing for me, I'm going to enjoy it. But again, he is the one that gives Barcelona the spark in the final third. So that was a match analysis from the match yesterday between Monaco and Barcelona. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well. Let me know your thoughts on everything we discussed on, Flick's in-game management. Is Ter Stegen finished? Can we survive this season with him? Your thoughts on the center back partnership, the midfield duo, and of course the individual brilliance of Lamine Yamal. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.
Go,